Hello, everyone. Welcome. I made it today. I didn't know if I would. I tell you the truth. It's one of those. It's just let's talk about Pisces and this energy of the Piscean. I feel it more radically this year than I've ever felt it in my life. This Piscean energy. The Piscean energy is boundless in many ways. It is, and I think if I'm because of Jupiter being in there, I think that brings in more of the intensity. The two brothers, Neptune and Jupiter. So we got Zeus and Poseidon together. They're brothers. Their dad is Kronos and their grandfather's Uranus. So we have this very powerful energies that they like control. They want that control. And with Poseidon is very can get lost in the illusions and the fantasies of the world. I mean, he was not never really I don't know, he didn't have children. And Zeus, I mean, he was, wanted marriage, had many girlfriends or mistresses, and got, even rape. I mean, Medusa or raped, different women. Anyways, within the mythology. So radical crazy man. Really. This energy that go down a tangent. This energy is bringing in some real radical energy for us, and energy that is very also mystical and magical and wanting us to come into the mystical and magical. It is energy that really, when it comes to our here comes my youngest son.
Here's that $30 that I borrowed from you.
Oh, thank you. You want to say hi to everybody? Hey, there you go. That's my baby. So that mystical energy that's coming in is it is powerful as well. This is how we perceive what's going on in the world. How are you looking at what's going on in the world in a spiritual sense? Meaning, when we're taking in, of course, but we'll talk about the Ukraine when we look at the war in Ukraine and we look at the economy. We have to really take a deep spiritual look at this and not get into the fear of it. That's really where the Piscean energy comes in, because it can take us into the riptides of it all. The riptide is, within the riptides are, many times people want to fight against it or move against it, but the riptides are you got to allow for the energy to pull you in order for you to be able to swim out. Allowing yourself to be pulled into the energies of God and the divine. And I am one who I believe in God. I believe in the goddess. I believe in that divine energy, and allowing yourself to be pulled into this mystical, magical energy in order for you to have the clarity you need in order to see your pathway your pathway better. And that's difficult. That's difficult for us because we're not used to really putting our energy in it. And I'm getting images of the pilgrims, images of people back in, say, 900 AD, where you really had to trust the elements. You had to trust in your intuition, in where you had to go. I mean, you didn't have you couldn't text somebody, you couldn't Google to find out what the weather was, to find out what somebody's doing on the other end of the world. There's a trusting that God was guiding you. You're being guided by the stars, you're being guided by this divine purpose. And here we have this divinely energy that's really coming in strong, and we are so severed from that of the divine, that we feel lost. And in that lostness, we go to drugs and alcohol. We go to other things that we find addiction in. And as we go into these addictions, or we go into these areas, then we can lose ourselves in the fear of war starting, the fear that gas is $2 a liter or $1.67 a liter or whatever it is a liter. We can get lost in that fear of like, oh my God, I can't fill up my tank. Oh my God, I can't do this. And we freeze. And in that freezing, we're unable to really tap into that mystical energy that's there. The sun is coming up. We're experiencing this sun and Neptune conjunction. And we're also coming into a Jupiter Neptune conjunction. This is a lot, like, we will not experience this again in our lifetime. This is why probably I'm feeling, I mean, it's like 160-year plus cycle that we're in right now. So it's something that this intensity and finding the clarity of our direction is that it's in the surrender. It is in the surrendering, and it's not in the understanding. If you're trying to understand it all, God help you. You're going to run around and it's going to be like chasing you're chasing your tail. You won't be able to understand it. It's just too boundless there. But this is where we are not perfect, but we can do better. And how will you support? The thing is that right now it's again, here it comes in, that division, where the Ukrainian flag, where, save Ukraine, whatever it is, feeling like that's going to be, if you don't follow this narrative, God's going to punish you. I think this is like a very small, minute area. I feel it's more, and hey, I'm not perfect at this. I feel like the divine is saying there's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger picture here, and a bigger understanding in what we have to understand, and how to get through this and not get caught in pulling us into what's not good. This is in realizing the unconscious things that you're doing. And it's funny, we kind of talked about this in my fairy workshop this last week. Things you do unconsciously. Like, I have a 6-year-old. I don't have a 6-year-old. My grandson, okay, a 6-year-old. He will go to the bathroom. Okay, and of course, does he flush all the time? No, he doesn't. It's gets up, walks out. Mateus, did you flush the toilet? Oh. It's very unconscious. Like, he wasn't conscious of what he had to do. There was a reminder of getting him to do what he needs to do. So look at the things that you are unconscious about, that you just blindly do it. Like, you put something there and you say, yeah, I'll pick it up. Yet you don't. Allowing yourself to be conscious about those things that you do unconsciously. And that's where this comes in, because we want to avoid problems. We want to avoid whatever it is, or it's going to take too much time, or it's just too much, or yeah, I know I need to do meditations. I'll do it. And by the time you go through that within your brain, time is gone. This is what's really going on, and being aware and how we deal with these things. And how do you deal with these things, and how you wanted it to, how you want it. This is to let go. So there's areas, of where we have to let go, areas where we feel right now, and this is very Piscean, that you're behind the 8 ball. Oh my God, I got all these projects I got to do all these projects, and got to do this and got to do that. The thing is that Pisces works on like a boomerang. It's like, okay, I'll just avoid it, and it's going to come around in another way, instead of looking at it and saying, you know what, just like what I did with my classes. I said, I'm not going to do anything till after Easter. When it comes to classes, I'm going to postpone all my classes except the ones that I'm teaching at this time, which are 2 classes, 2 workshops. Everything else, I'm going to start up at the end of April. I'm going to allow for that. If I'm behind the eight ball with any, with any payments or anything right now, this is where you call and let them know, hey, this is what's going on in my life. And can we have an extension, or can we have some payment plans? Can we spread it over time? Whatever it is, that's doing the conscious thing. When we go into the unconscious, it's like if Mateus never flushes the toilet, what are we going to have, right? Putting that analogy there. This is looking at where you feel you're behind the eight ball and saying, okay, what have I been avoiding? I mean, some of the things that I've been telling people, and now I'm seeing it all over Facebook, that I've been warning people since 2019 about food storage, about stocking up, about doing different things. Make sure you have water. The other thing, start writing things down on a hard copy, in a binder, in a book, on a, like people's phone numbers, addresses. These are things that you'll need to know. These are things that you'll need. Write down, the thing is that they're trying to get rid of all hard copies of things. It's kind of nice to have a hard copy of your bills, or, maybe if you're getting them sent to you, print it off. Print it off. Have a copy of it. Print out what you need to have and have a hard copy of it. We're going to find that we're going to need those copies coming in the next several months, and that you have them, especially phone numbers. So if the contacts that you have in your phone, do you know everybody's number? I bet you don't. So this is where we really have to take a look and say, okay, let me get this in. Right? Let me put this together. So this is going to be important things that we're going to be having to do over the next several days or weeks. And where we are also coming in the universe in a way of doing things that are going to help us to align with what is unfolding. And there's a lot that's coming in that is unfolding for us at this time. And we're coming into some crazy weather patterns with that Neptune and Jupiter energy. So there's going to be some really weird weather patterns that are going to be coming in, different storms that are going to be happening. I mean, have you ever taken a look at Poseidon and pictures of Poseidon? It's, I know I could probably share them up there, but I find sometimes it's, whenever you see, like, graphics of Poseidon, I mean, there's water swirling all around him. There's great power in what he's doing. The tides and everything. Now his brother is coming in. Who is lightning. I mean, now we got lightning coming in. We got all of this energy coming in. So now, what does lightning do to water? These are the things that, when we got lightning and water coming together, it's pretty powerful, right? So we got this power that's coming together, and the two of them are coming together, and we're having it's an alchemical connection of lightning and water coming together. Pretty, I mean, it's pretty beautiful, but it's it's electrifying. So a lot more electricity coming in. So we have electricity. Oh, wow, this is taking me. So we have electricity with water coming in. So that's very electrifying, right? And then we have Uranus. Can't forget him in Taurus in the earth. He's electrifying. So we have this all of this electricity that is stimulating us right now. So you may be having problems sleeping. You might be feeling very sort of jittery. Um, your senses, you're heightened. Everything is on heightened alert. So you are on alert phase. So with all of this electricity coming in, I mean, we got Zeus coming in to see his bro. Hey, brother, dear. You know, um, we have Saturn coming into the last degrees of, he's going to go all the way up to 25 degrees in Aquarius and then retrograde back. So we have this energy with Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius is a very electrical kind of energy. Saturn is the old ruler coming in. So we have this intensity of energies that are electrifying us, that are zapping you into awareness, zapping you into getting you to awaken in many ways. You might be feeling more of sensations and tingling and everything else that are coming in. And you might be feeling it a lot within your heart energy. So the heart energy, because that's your electrical system. Then we're going to go to the brain on things that are zapping in the brain. And it's funny because when I did I wrote it out where my husband was having like a quincunx, um, and it hit his sixth house, and that's the day he had his stroke, and had his stroke into the one area of his brain that controls the right side, but it's like a stroke is like almost your electrodes, everything goes misfire, right? And then everything in your body, whatever it's hitting, stops working. So we have this electrifying energy that's going to be hitting that is hitting us in many ways. And this is what we need to begin to be aware of, because it's like like opening us up and awakening us. And that's why I find like there's going to be huge power outages. Electrical power outages are going to happen. We're going to find that this is, where, of course, the gas prices are going to be astronomical, like higher than what we've ever had them before. I got a real bad itch that just happened right there. But, we're going to have, these are the types of things that we're going to be seeing within the mundane world. We're going to be seeing where there is, oh, what kind of, anyways, it's a, um not seeing, but maybe experiencing things that don't make sense, things that seem to be crazy. And we're going to go through this uncomfortableness because it is a rebirthing. The only way we can come through the 3D energy and move to something new is with a death. We have to have a death of the 3D. And the only way to enter into this new world, this is an ego structured reality, which is dying away, which is our 3D. That's why it's like, what are you so attached to? Surrendering to the attachments of the world that is, that it's like letting it go and allowing God to guide you through this. And that's where the importance is. Where is God guiding you through all of this? And trusting in that guidance. And you may not understand all the steps. You may not understand. It's like we are coming through some great emotionally mind-boggling energies. And that's why we feel so much of the intensity at this time, because of all the transition. I mean, the earth has sped up faster. The poles are shifting faster. There, we are in solar flare 25. So we just started this next solar flare, and it's already off the charts than what they thought it would be. So the flares, the intensity of the sun, of these flares coming in, which is very hitting our magnetic field, which is pulsating this energy into the earth. This is all like, this is very scientific. This is the scientific part. And they know that with these pulsations cause erratic behavior, causes people to get more frustrated. They saw when I'm trying to think which solar flare it was, but this was back in around 1945, in around the era of World War II. Those solar flares were through the chart. People's aggression pushing out there was very, very strong at that time, and that was from the solar flares. And this is very much where we're entering now. We're entering into some crazy energies with solar flares. And the solar flares and the electrical and all of this energy coming in, we're feeling that intensity. We're feeling that, whoa, what is this? And this alertness. And sometimes it's, and then we go, because of being in the Piscean energy, we can go to where we want to avoid it and not deal with it, not deal with what we need to deal with. And that's what we have to be aware of. If this makes sense to you guys, call me crazy. So we're going to see, because things need to change. The way that we grow our food needs to change. The way that we trade with one another needs to change. How we connect with people need to change. This is why it's all like all of this shaking up. I was just going on to the topic of the Ukraine. Putin can take the Ukraine over at any time. Just in everyone, like, just that's what I feel. He can go over there and take that over at any time. Why hasn't he? Sanctions are not going to hurt. Like, sanctions, it's like, yeah. Okay, take TikTok off, take Netflix off, take all of this off. And what does that mean? That means, oh, well, now I got to focus on other things that are more important. That pushes them more towards China and their system, even for their banking, for credit cards. I'm thinking like, wow, you want to take away all of this, and now I'm going to have to deal with things in a new way. It's not going to be the first time. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Who do you think is going to survive? The guy with the Gucci watch sitting in his penthouse apartment? Or the person who's planting the seeds and tolling with the land? Who understands the hardship and says, oh, okay, well, we'll figure it out in a new way, or we'll plant it in a new way, or we'll look at different seeds. This is like, when I see this, the craziness that's out there, I feel like, wow, how many people know how to cultivate seeds from tomatoes or plant potatoes? This is where my brain goes, right? This is where the awakening and the awareness starts to come in. That's the magic. It's in that simplicity of change. And then my brain goes to, if they're sending out over all these trillions and trillions of dollars to Ukraine, and all of this money's going to Ukraine, where's it going? How's it getting to it? And all of these people are leaving Ukraine. And this isn't the first time they've had war there. This isn't the first time they've had a crisis in Ukraine. watch Ukraine on fire. It gives you a history of what it is all about. And the thing is with Ukraine too, and I'm not like, war is horrible. I don't go for war. I don't think anybody should be invading anybody. I believe in more peace and harmony, and let's get along with everybody and grow and prosper. But they do have neo-Nazis there in Ukraine, a very strong force of neo-Nazis there. So this is where we have to, like, okay, what is really going on? And for the last 2.5 years plus, we haven't been able to trust mainstream media. Now everybody's trusting mainstream media, that they must be telling the truth. There's so many things there that we need to, like, okay, I see it, I'm going to separate, and I need to do what I know, what is best, what I feel is best for me, and come into my magical self of me and surrender what I need to surrender with this earth and this world, because I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know exactly what's happening. I have an idea. Things don't look good. I mean, astrologically for Germany, what else is new? Germany. Like, I'm sorry. They started 2 other wars. You're going to trust them again? This is, alliances are being made right now. Saudi Arabia. So alliances are being made. What you think, as I said, who you thought was your ally is no longer your ally. Who you thought that you could trust fully. Why do you think the PM met with the Queen? There's a reason. They had to have a sit down and a chat. In order to get him on the straight and narrow to say, okay, you got to start smartening up, and we're going into something pretty big here. Queen isn't stupid. So we're going through all these changes and transformations. Being aware of what's happening is a good thing. Blessing it is a good thing. But stepping it back into your power and saying, okay, I get what's going on. I can't control it, but I can certainly do what I need to do for myself and my family and my friends, and really put things into order, what I need to be putting into order, and allowing myself to be in that strength of who I am. And that's where it's at. That's where this magic's at. It's going to get more intense than what we've had ever experienced in the next months ahead. And even within the rest of this year and going into 2023. This is going to take us through some crazy whirlpools of energy and riptides. But it's also going to bring in such greatness and magic and new nuances in our life that we've never experienced before as well. It's time to buckle up. It's time to get ready. And I know many of you have been preparing already for things to happen. But we have to look even further and deeper into the other things that we need to do and connect with, and how to connect with others. That's going to be the most imperative thing to do. And it's like, we're going to step forward. I'm going to say, if you don't have any maps at home, maybe you should have some maps, like maps, not Google Maps. I'm talking about a map. Do you have a city map? Do you have, just saying, just throwing that out there for people. Does AMA, if anybody belongs to AMA, do you have maps from AMA? This is getting you to look at things in different ways, right? And setting forth on this new path that we're on. So, going to send you guys out with so much love and light. It is, you know what? Weirdly enough, I'm very excited about these new changes and everything that's happening. I have to trust with the journey that I am on with my husband, that it is bringing in some crazy changes into our life. Where they're going to lead, don't know. don't know. Some of them, it's like we've been through crazy times before, and I'm just open. I'm into not fighting the riptide. I'm into going into the riptide so I can swim out again. So have a blessed day, everybody, and sending you guys out so much love, and surrender to this all, because this is very emotional energy, very electrifying energy that's coming in. So may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Thank you for being a part of my journey and being a part of my world. Onward and upwards. Yes. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.